Okay. Spiral from the Book of Saw. I went to this yesterday immediately after A Quiet Place 2, which we thoroughly enjoyed. My fiance did not go with me to Spiral. I don't blame her, but I wanted to crank out both these reviews right away to get the channel kicked off. And, eventually I'm going to have some fancy intro and I'm going to be in my DVD Blu ray cathedral, but right now you can see I'm by a bookshelf. The office is occupied with other projects right now, but that's neither here nor there. I actually really enjoy the original Saw. I think it's a classic. I really do. I think it's aged well. I think it's probably one of the best like seven influenced kind of spin-off copycat things, whatever you want to call it, ever. Some of those seven clones didn't work so well for me personally, like Copycat and what's the Christopher Lambert movie, Resurrection, from the director of Highlander, didn't work. I really like this thing. It's a very very solid horror film, and I don't have any problems with it. Saw 2 is okay. I mean, I'm not nuts about it, to be honest, but I went to the theater, I saw it, and I thought, well, that could have been worse. It's like doing a sequel to 7. I mean, I know they wrote a sequel to 7. They didn't make it, thank goodness. They made it as something else. It was an Anthony Hopkins movie called Solace, which, if you want to know what 7 2 could have been, that's as close as you're going to get. But there was no sequel to Saw that needed to be made. And by the third one, which I also saw in the theater opening night with some friends, I'd already checked out. Nothing against the filmmakers, the actors, anybody involved. It's very rare that I'll bash a movie. I can find something to enjoy in about 90% of what I see, but I could just tell where this series is going. It's not for me. And that bore out. I watched, what was the one where one of the leads returns? Final Chapter. I think it was in 3D on the big screen. I watched that with a friend when he rented it from Redbox way back in the day, and I was like, well, yeah, I don't think I'm going to watch anything in between. But with Chris Rock here, you know, and of course, who doesn't like Samuel L. Jackson? But with Chris Rock, I've always thought, he could have been an action star in an alternate universe. He kind of got screwed with stuff like Bad Company, but I like him. I think he could do serious well. I could see him in this detective type of role, and he does good in this film. I'm glad I went to see this on the big screen. I like supporting him, but this movie has some big problems, man. And without getting into huge spoilers, like the ending, you can see coming. And I'm not just saying that. Like The Sixth Sense blew me away. Fight Club, I could never guess that. Like, what's the one recently? Knives Out. I could kind of see that, but not really the specifics. This, it was like, oh yeah, there's a certain character who isn't dead. So, that, and then on top of that, there's a good like 10, 15 minutes where they deal with that situation. You're like, yeah, I know that was coming. And then the very ending, which is they play the Saw theme, and it's supposed to be, that is, I am sorry. I don't know how that shit ever made it past the test audiences, or if it did, and this is a reshoot, they should have left the original shit in there because, I know they're trying hard, and like I said, Chris Rock is great, and some of the other performers are okay, but man, this film does not pay off at all. At least not for me. Um, it's definitely better than the final chapter, which is one of the only other ones I've seen, and I think I might like it better than the third one. But yeah, there were times when I was actually think if I had a watch, I would have been checking it. Like there were times when I was spacing out as a police procedural and a buddy cop thing, which they're taking stabs at, and especially with the twists, so the relationship becomes stale. I'll say this: it is gruesome. Like if you want a few like really, really like if Mel Gibson came in and directed some Saw shit, you got a good 20 minutes of that or 15 minutes of that. They dig deep on that, and it's not very politically correct. Like there's uh, it's it's a good hard rated R, with if you want to break the boundaries. There's one female character that I did not at all think she deserved that, and so they don't play by any rules. But overall, this is just like this. I can't believe they're still doing these. I really can't. I mean, there are people who are still entertained. This is so one note. Anyways, sorry. Cheers. Thank you for watching Blue City Reviews. Talk to you soon.